Hi everyone, I'm Blair Bryant with the Steller Group. We are a real estate firm located out of Centennial, Colorado, and we're here to give you weekly updates during our shelter-in-place mandate from the governor. So here we are, we're in week 4 of our stay-at-home, and we have some big news to talk about. If you want to get some further information on the market, of course look at the previous videos. They're all there on the playlist and will give you a bigger picture outlook, especially as last week's video talked about what happened in March. Our end of March data came out. So our big news that we came across last week was the Governor and the Attorney General officially declared showings and open houses as part of that shelter-in-place mandate. So showings on homes that are on the market should not be happening. We have adapted, of course. Before this, we were getting virtual tours set up for our listings, virtual walkthroughs for our listings. You are able to still get into a house, but it's with a number of conditions that need to be met before you get into that house. Of course, houses are still being sold and still being bought during the shelter in place. If you are one of these people who are in a place where you have to move, that can still happen. We can still list your house and you can still get out there with a buyer's agent and see a house. Like I said, it just has to be with very, very, very certain conditions. And what I recommend is, if you're one of these people, talk to a buyer's agent with the Steller Group, talk to one of the listing agents, and we'll certainly guide you through how we are getting homes on the market. So anecdotally, we did have a few houses that went on the market last week, and a few of those houses did go under contract. How is this happening with the shelter-in-place mandates? Some are being virtually seen, and then after they go under contract, that's when the inspection's being set up. So inspections, appraisals, and walkthroughs are being permitted by the Attorney General and the Governor. Obviously, folks, we're in the middle of this. And so right now, many people are choosing to pull back and hold off and wait until we've cleared through what is supposed to be the peak. We're all trying to flatten the curve. That includes us here at the Steller Group. And so that leads me to my next big point is inventory. So we've talked about inventory over the last few weeks. Our data that came out at the beginning of April pointed to lower inventory year over year. So we're down in inventory from last year. We talked about that threshold of houses that sell and that are listed every month. Folks, we're sitting on basically a 30-day inventory. And now that homes are being withdrawn from the market, that people are expiring or waiting to sell the houses, a lot of homes over the course of March and April have pulled off the market, and we anticipate they'll go back on the market as soon as the shelter in place gets lifted or eased as we get back into normal showings. Folks, it's going to create a real backlog of business. So again, a lot of this is strategic. Real estate happens for reasons we cannot always control, right? People get job transfers. People have changes in their relationships. People downsize. So that is not going to stop. In fact, if anything, there's this backlog of business that's building that once we get to an ease in regulations, it's really just going to set this market back on fire, and we're already sitting on really low inventory. So really, the last thing I'm going to talk about today is what can you do while you're sitting at home waiting for your home sale to happen. Maybe you're waiting for it to get going as soon as this shelter in place sort of gets eased. And what I would recommend, number one, is call an agent and talk about timing. Our market is cyclical. This feels a little bit like what winter feels like in Colorado. Those winter months for us in real estate are those October, November, and December months when real estate really quiets down. Well, you know what happens in January? That is when real estate always catches on fire. And we had one of the biggest years we've ever seen, not only locally, but within our group. We just have had a fantastic year, and that's because there's been a lot of pent-up demand out there. So I would call an agent. That's number one. Call an agent and talk about timing. There are going to be a lot of people who are getting their homes ready, getting them photographed, getting everything in line. We offer full staging services. Once these shelter-in-place mandates are eased, we are going to be getting into these houses and staging them. But I'd also, if you're out there, you don't know if you're going to be moving right away, but you're kind of in that period, you're 2 to 3 months, maybe 6 months, even just call it 2020, I would call us and we can do an over-the-phone assessment on your house. So we can look at what is that relative value of your house. I've been doing this over the past couple weeks with clients as they are going to be moving, and we've been coming up with values. And the last thing is, if you're a buyer who was going to be moving here in the spring, what I recommend is get out there and start looking online. There may be opportunity for you buyers right now. Remember, there are homes. I did a search just of this 3-mile area yesterday, and there are a handful of homes out there who have been on the market for about a month, about 2 months, and folks, that represents opportunity. Those folks need to move. Many times a home is sold after it's vacant, after someone's moved. So buyers, we're always talking about those opportunity times. This is your opportunity time. Get out there, start looking. And again, we've got all kinds of mandates on showing, so you'll have to talk to the buyer's agents about how we can get you into a house. It's probably going to be after you go under contract. But again, folks, we are tracking this thing week on week. We'll be back with you next week for a market update. Stay safe out there, and thanks for tuning in.